Hey, I'm Scott Perdue, and
Juan Brown.
we're going to try this podcast thing out. And everybody seems to be doing it. So we're going to try it out and see how it works. And I'm thinking of a name for this as maybe BS Works.
What's the BS and BS works?
Well, that's Brown and Scott.
Oh,
You
okay. Yeah.
know,
Blancolirio.
yeah, exactly. Blancolirio, it just didn't work. BF or FB, whatever. That didn't work very well. So I thought, well, BS works actually sounds pretty good, because
Yeah.
we're kind of BS in here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what I was asking ask you guys out there in the world is if you got a better idea, send us a message, post a
Yeah.
reply and tell us what you think. So, well, today I'm down in Sunfun. I'm in Lakeland. I'm in the hotel, and the light's really dim here. You can see it's at night. So, I've got an
And I'm
update.
outdoors here at Nevada County Airport. Scott says don't do that. It washes it all out, but we're outdoors working with an iPad right now today. So we'll see if it works.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. So we need what we need really is an update for this atmospheric river. You guys solved the entire uh, problem of drought already?
Well, the drought's over with, but now we've moved right to flood season, and then we'll soon be replaced with fire season. But it's been just a dramatic year of weather here this year. Sacramento's reporting over 25 inches. Snowpack's over 200%. Let me show you around the hangar here a little bit. Some of this snow pack that let's see here. Get over here a little bit. I don't know if you can see that very well, but right on the side of that hangar there, still a good pile of snow right there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
built up by the wind and
well, it's just sliding off the roof there,
oh, I see.
piling
Yeah.
up. That's been a big problem on these hangars is the snow comes sliding off the roof, piles up against the side of the building, and then caves in the side of the building.
Really?
That's been one problem out here. And we've got most of the snow melted. We had another 9 inches just come through the other night, but we've had upwards of 40 inches of snow out here, and it's just been a hell of a season of snow and rain. So we're well above average, 200% of average snow to date up in the high Sierra. So we're doing okay for flood control up here in the North State, but the San Joaquin Valley portion is where all the drama is right now with the re-emergence of the Tulare Lake, historic Tulare Lake bed. So we're watching that close as the snow melts off in the mountains.
What do you mean watching it? What the lake bed is it getting inundated?
Yeah, so it's this old historic lake bed that was there for millions of years, and then it was drained in the late 1800s for farming. But now, with all this excessive runoff, the water is having to refill this old lake bed, which has been used for farming. And so there's thousands of acres of farmland that are not going to be able to be farmed this year because it's going to be inundated with water.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is something. I had no idea.
Story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a heck of a thing. And that I remember, was it the Oro Dam? Well,
Oroville. Yeah.
Oroville, yeah.
Oroville's doing good. Oroville, Shasta up here in the North State. We'll get these reservoirs topped off just perfectly. They're doing a little flood control right now, so they're spilling some of the water out to make room for the snow melt coming in. And after years of drought, these reservoirs will be able to just top off just perfectly here this year. So we're looking forward to that, having full reservoirs for the first time in at least 4 or 5 years.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
that's excellent news to have water.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, so I've been at Sun and Fun since I got here on Monday, so which wasn't
How's the crowds? How's the turnout you thinking so far?
well. I was we talked. I think we talked on the phone either yesterday or something about that, and you asked me, and I didn't think the crowd was really heavy. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Walking around, there's it's not packed. You're not dodging somebody all the time. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the crowd was heavy, and the airplanes, especially GA, is definitely not as heavy it's been in the last 2 years because I've done a lot of walking around there. But I was at a burger burn in the campsite area this evening, and I gave a guy a ride back to his car, So we had to drive through most of the general parking. He was farther than I ever seen parking, and he was way off to the end. I mean, he was past the east end of the airport. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people driving in because I've never seen that big of parking space.
For then you're talking about the RVs and the
No,
cars. You're
general parking cars.
okay.
Yeah, because there's huge number of acres right in front. Even
Mm-hmm.
where the Paradise City is. The stall field.
Mm,
There's a big area there. No,
yeah.
it was at least a half mile, three-quarters of a mile further east, where
Mm-hmm.
there was other parking, and that's where this guy was. So if it was that full, then there
Mm,
might be a lot of people driving in. So it was kind of a surprise.
good. All right. But GA in general, the number of GA aircraft. What about the air shows and acts and that sort of thing?
Well, the air shows were pretty interesting. There's some pretty good acts, and I guess I'm kind of partial to round motors, so I like AeroShell. I think they do a really good job with the T6. They make great noise. Um, there
Did
was
one of the did one of the AeroShell AT6s have a ground loop? I read a little report.
Yeah, he did. Apparently, what happened, this is what I heard. I didn't hear from any of them. I
Mm-hmm.
know one of the guys on the team, actually, Jimmy Fordham. He's a really good guy. I've known him for a long time. But I didn't get a chance to catch up with him. But apparently, something broke in the tail wheel, either the control cable or something like that, and it spun and the airplane swerved. But before it went too far off, the gear folded. And
Ooh.
that is an issue in the T6. If you get too much side load on that thing, it'll break. And
Mm.
that's apparently what it did. I saw a picture and it looked like it probably broke the actuator. So
On the main landing gear. But yeah,
I
I heard
mean,
something had broke on the steering of the tail wheel
and
or rudder.
that's what caused the swerve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they
Yeah.
shut the runway down for an hour. It took a while to pick the airplane up and get it off.
All right.
Amazon was mad.
So the yeah, that's right because they got to compete with the Amazon traffic now.
Yeah.
Um, is can the show go on with the AeroShell aircraft with -1 T6, or they got a
Well,
spare?
what they did, they had a spare, but it was back. I guess he's in Mississippi or Alabama. They flew him back there. Somebody flew him back there. They got the spare and flew it back. So
Good.
yeah, the show went on. They just kept going. I saw him do their night show act. When was that? Wednesday night. It was it's always they always do. I think do a great job.
Yeah, yeah. Pros, man, total pros. Good
They
job.
are total pros. So I do have a comment to make. Actually, I really like the Lee Lauterbach. I think he did a two ship P-51 routine. I don't
Yeah.
remember who the other guy was, but it was pretty good. I like that. And Doug Rosendahl, Doug?
Which guy is he?
He's big into the CAF, and he used to those Mid America guys. Is that the name of them? And Fargo, North Dakota. They had a whole bunch
Mm-hmm.
of planes, and he used to do routines in their all their airplanes and stuff. And anyway, he's got Mr. Mulligan, a replica of that airplane, and he did a little bit of the air race thing, and then he did a
Mm-hmm.
demo routine. And
Oh, fantastic!
yeah,
Yeah, that's quite a machine. That's basically a monocoupe with a giant engine in it, isn't it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's good. It was I love noises like that, and I like
Yeah.
they had Jim Pites with the he has an F-33C that's like two numbers from
Mm,
the end, and he did a great show.
yeah.
Yeah. So I saw the
Good.
jet, and that's the source of my rant for today. I was watching the Jets. The Blues were there. They were the Blues. There was an F-35 there because apparently they're
Just
pushing.
blowing your ears out, right?
Yeah, the F-35 was there, and they're really pushing the F-35 these days. You rarely see an F-16 in the Heritage Program. You don't see the
Mm-hmm.
F-22 anymore. So
Mm.
I did see there's an F-16 did a little bit of a demo. I think it was a guard guy or something, maybe reserve guy. So I was sitting there watching it, and then I was watching the F-35, And I look around and everybody's watching the F-35 and they're, everywhere. And they're not, they didn't do that with the F-16. So
Hmm.
why is that? Because when I was looking at it, you see the F-16, man, he'll go vertical and he'll get a lot of penetration. The F-35,
Yeah.
he goes vertical and then he goes this way and he doesn't go anywhere. And he does,
Huh.
it's a very low show and it's very close. And the F-35 does handle very well at low speed. But from
Yeah,
a
they're featuring that low speed maneuverability, right?
Yeah, exactly. But okay, you're flying a fighter, low speed. Yeah, you don't move much, you get shot. That's
That's from an old school fighter pilot like you.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
just an
Yeah,
easy
go
target now.
go ahead and do that turn and fine. I'm gonna shoot. It reminds
Watch
me,
this.
it reminds me of that scene in Indiana Jones, where
Yeah,
they
that's what I was thinking of. You bring the knife to a gunfight, a couple ammo, and he just walks away.
exactly. Yeah. So the sword, he's doing all the sword stuff and he's really proud of it, and he just takes his gun out and shoots him. Yeah. That's what I think about the F-35. But I think why they do that show is because it's super loud.
Yeah. Oh, just ear splitting. It gets tedious after a while.
It actually does. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. There's a bigger story to the F. Why I hate the F-35. I got we can talk about it maybe in another podcast because I got fired from my consulting job because of what I said about the
That'll cost you.
F-35. Yeah. So that's my rant about air shows, man. I'm tired of seeing that thing.
Yeah, there's just ear splitting, just ripping your ears apart with the F-35 demos.
Yeah. So here's the other thing that drove me nuts about Sun and Fun is it's
Wait a minute, you haven't even made it to the big weekend, right?
no. Well, actually, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm
It's
gonna
only
leave.
it's Friday night, right?
Yeah,
So
it's Friday night. Yeah, but I'm gonna leave before it's over. But the food is ridiculous. It's
as
ridiculous.
far as expensive or just
Yeah, a soda for $6.
a soda, yeah, yeah.
Soda for $6. I think I paid. I bought a hamburger and fries, and it's $22. And
Whew. Yeah,
I
yeah. I've seen it's all across the board nowadays, but probably especially at air shows, man.
oh yeah, it was ridiculous. I said, okay, I want to have an ice cream, and so I got a shake because they make this one place does Briars and they mix it up and they use real Hershey's chocolate syrup,
Mm.
and I kind of like that. So I did this $10. You got to be kidding me.
For an ice cream, man. Man.
That's
Mm.
that was just too much.
Yeah,
So
gets
anyway,
expensive. Wow.
it's expensive. Yeah,
Well, what about the burgers? Are they any good, or are they just kind of
burgers are burgers.
air
Yeah,
show burgers for big bucks?
yeah, big bucks.
Hmm.
There was some cool stuff out there. Acme Aero, the guys that do the shocks for the off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they have this new deal where they make shocks for Skywagons for 170s, 180s, and 185s.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in the North Sea certification, which is you don't have to do an STC. It's a
Hmm.
program where most of like the AOA gauges and stuff like that are
Yeah.
certified under North Sea. So it's a minor change. You just put a logbook entry in. You don't have to do an STC. So what they do is the spring gear on those Cessnas, they have it come out like this, and then they got one of their major league shocks bolted. They have brackets that bolt to the spring gear here, and
Yeah.
then the axle is an extension on the axle. When the axle is on there, you actually that's actually how you mount the axle and the brake. Is it's just bolted to four holes at the bottom of the spring gear.
Right.
Yeah, and so they have this bracket that they fit that on. So you have one going this way and one going that way, like that. And
That Acme Aerostrut goes all the way down to the axle for the wheel.
yeah,
Huh. That's
yeah.
would seem like a lot of aerodynamic drag.
Oh, it's
I mean, that
enormous.
whole
It's
yeah,
enormous.
the whole idea of that Whitman Cessna gear is a low drag configuration.
Yeah. So because of that, they have quick release pins. So you have brackets, and you can just pull the pin out and stick it in your baggage compartment, fly where you're going to go to the backcountry or whatever, and then put these
Oh,
on. And so you don't have to fly around with them everywhere.
Brilliant. Now that's smart because the whole idea of the Acme is to take the rebound out of the spring steel. Because man, you screw up a landing on a spring steel gear, you're going to go to the moon, baby. But that
Yeah,
Acme will take that rebound out of it.
yeah, that's exactly right. And I'll be honest with you, I had a Skywagon for 10 years, and I think my landings are 50-50.
Yeah, yeah, you get those things to bouncing and they'll bounce.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
bounce. So Shannon, my daughter, she actually got to be a pretty good Skywagon pilot. I told her about these shocks, and she says, "Well, I thought half the fun was trying to mitigate that, land so it doesn't do that." Well, okay.
Yeah, but when it's tight or you're in Idaho and it's short, you just would rather just be on the ground.
Just plant it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Huh.
looks
Well, that's
really
brilliant. I've
cool.
never heard of it to being deployable like that or temporary. That's a smart idea.
Yeah,
Wow.
I thought it was a really cool idea. And
Huh.
one of the other things I thought was really cool I saw is this thing right here. This
What do
is
you got there?
it's a CO detector. It's a USB.
Yeah.
And I bought because they make one also under North Sea, uh, and they make one that's permanently mounted, and then this one. But I did this one because I've got USB in the Husky and my Bonanza,
Mm-hmm.
so I can
Mm-hmm.
move it back and forth. And it's 1 part per million. That's how sensitive the
Hmm.
sensor is on this. And it's
Aren't you setting that off all the time?
well, it's lights. It shows lights, so it doesn't drive you nuts. But
Okay.
I think it could be diagnostic. In other words, yeah, how's my exhaust system doing? You
Mm-hmm.
know, so I don't know. I'm going to try it out and see how it works out.
Now, tell me again, or tell all of us again, what is this North Sea
It's a
for?
certificate. Well, I should have looked that up before. I don't remember exactly.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, exactly what the acronym is, but it's an FAA program where uh, it's a minor change, and they say that it's a for safety. So
Oh, good.
you don't have to go through the whole STC project process,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they put AOA gauges on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
so there's a couple of things out there that are Norse. NOI,
Now,
CE.
did you make it down to the big talk of the town? There is the Carbon Cub and the Rotax engine.
Yeah, I did. I got to look at that, and I was chasing down Brad. I can't remember his last name. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
terrible reporter. But it took me like 4 or 5 hours to chase him down.
Good. At least you got
No,
him.
yeah, at least I got him. Nobody would talk about it. Oh, this is the new one,
They
etc.
coming in on final here.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
see what. Hey, it looks like a Bonanza. What is that? Yeah, straight tail Bonanza. Let's see if he
yeah.
comes in frame here.
Oh, that's
See him?
cool. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, just past. Yeah. So I chased him down. I got some pictures. I'm actually going to do an update on my regular channel about it, and I have some video for it. But yeah, he told me about it. Right now, it's the engineering prototype, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily going to be exactly like this. They just had to build it, and here's our concept. Does it work? What doesn't work? And he says right now that airplane is at like 890 pounds empty, and
And
they're
how's that compared to a regular Carbon Cub with a 180 horse engine?
yeah, it's lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Considerably. Because go ahead.
the engine is it's got the Rotax 916 IS, which
Right.
is turbocharged, 160 horsepower turbocharged. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot lighter than that 180 horsepower engine.
Right. I was just looking that up. I think this engine weighs in at about 200 pounds. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, yeah,
And the 0360 was over 300 pounds, 320 or so pounds. So
yeah,
over 100, maybe almost 150 pounds lighter
yeah.
engine, a little bit less horsepower, but being supercharged, you get that 160 horsepower all the way up to what, 15,000 feet?
Well, it's interesting you say that.
Hmm.
The Rotax claims that the critical altitude on that turbo is 16,000 feet.
Okay.
And
Good.
it's like, I guess it does like nearly 48 inches, 46 inches. And Brad said that he took it up on the trip down to Sun and Fun. He took it up to 17.5,
Hmm.
and he was getting 150 plus miles an hour true on 9.9 gallons an
In a
hour
Carbon Cub?
in a carbon cup.
You must have had a hell of a tailwind up there. You got in the jet stream with the darn thing.
Yeah, no
Wow.
kidding. He had to have oxygen that high.
Yeah, you would. And then I wonder what the fuel burn is. I haven't found any documentation. They're saying it's going to be a lot less. It's fuel injected. It's got to be way more efficient.
It is. He said he was getting 9.9 gallons an hour while he was doing that 17.5 cruising at that altitude.
9.9?
Yeah. Just under 10.
Well, that's a lot.
Well, you're asking a lot at 45 inches of manifold pressure.
Okay, so he's wide open throttle at that altitude, running the turbo wide open.
Yeah.
Okay. Huh.
So his target, he said their target is to get it down to about 850 pounds. So the gear is titanium, the firewall is titanium, and their plan is to put other titanium stuff in there. And they started using pre-preg carbon fiber instead of vacuum bagged, so they could minimize the amount of resin, that they put in the carbon fiber.
Lighter is always better, and it's going to make a better, lighter airplane, handling better and everything else. Even though it's 20 horsepower less, you're going to make up for that in that weight difference. And I always dreamed of building the world's lightest carbon Cub, but using a conventional engine. But now this is a game changer if you're going to want to try and build something light.
I know. I'm actually real excited about it. He said that they're building it. They're actually going to do it as a factory built airplane, not as a kit. At least right now. And it's going to be LSA, so 1320 gross, but they also are going to make a version, or if you didn't have it in the LSA, I wasn't quite clear how that happened, but you can go to about 1540 gross weight.
On the gross weight. And the whole idea also of this engine is that you do not have to run 100 low lead. So it's an alternative fuels engine capable, especially for the European market.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's actually good for ultralight in a lot of the foreign markets. Instead of LSA, our LSA, it's good for ultralight in quite a few markets. So it's pretty impressive.
It'll be very interesting to see how that overall package performs compared to a 180 horse carbon Cub.
Yeah. And he said that he did a low level trip about sea level. He's just flying at sea level, and he was doing 60 miles an hour. And guess what the fuel flow he said he got?
Oh, he'd let you know what the fuel flow was? I'm dying to know. What did he say?
2 gallons an hour.
Holy smokes. That's dialed way back, man. Jeez. I thought you'd go forever, man.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So this is the test bed. He said they're going to work on it for the rest of 23 and evaluate it, and they're going to come up with their production version and then build that. And once they get that in 24, they're going to start doing marketing and media rides. And basically, I weaseled a flight where you and I are going to go up and go fly that damn thing.
Let's do it, man. That'd be awesome. And this is still being a Rotax. It's a gear reduction drive engine, correct? Like a
it has that. It has that
about 5,000.
Yeah, I don't know what the RPM, but it's pretty up there. Yeah, there's a little the gear. I've got video of it. But it's got the
gearbox on the front of the engine that kind of picks the prop up a bit. And then, I guess one of the advantages as a bush plane is that you can whack the prop and hopefully not have to tear down the whole engine and just go through the gearbox instead, potentially.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, that would be good. So, and he said the first, I think they're looking at production to start in first quarter 25.
Interesting. Well, that'll be exciting. That's the neat thing about these air shows is you get to see these the first look at some of these new products.
Yeah, and he said they have like 6 orders already.
Wow, good. Sell those carbon Cubs. They're selling like hot potatoes.
Yeah, they're selling like hotcakes. And he said or somebody else was telling me. I know Mike Sasser. He's the Texas Oklahoma dealer, and he was saying that they're probably mad at me talking here. So I'm talking too loud. Leave me alone. It's not even 10 o'clock. So hold on. Hello.
He's got to answer. That's the front desk.
Yeah,
Bus Scott Perdue. He's in the hotel.
Yeah.
And his neighbors are complaining about the podcast.
Why are you calling? Why are you calling? That's what I want to know.
Maybe it's Dan Greider on the other end.
My name is Perdue, and it's the room you gave me when I checked in this morning or this afternoon at about 4.
He's in the wrong room.
All right. Bye. All right. So
was that Dan Greider heckling you, or were you in the wrong room?
It could have been Dan. Yeah. It could have been Dan. So apparently he's at I saw his airplane. He's at Sun and Fun. I haven't heard from him though.
I saw a picture on Facebook there. He took that yellow wrap off of it and got a white paint job on it now. So he can come in unbeknownst or stealthily. They don't have the no Dan Greider sign out there at Sun and Fun.
Yeah, but I did hear from some of his exes, and they're looking for restraining orders on him.
Oh, no. Never an even break in this business.
Yeah. So,
Dan, you'll have to get out here and defend yourself.
Yeah. He's incognito right now.
Yeah.
Maybe the FAA or the NTSB finally tracked him down.
Yeah. Now, my favorite part of Sun and Fun was the little beer booth, with the live band at it. Was that all still there?
Yeah. I saw there. Good. I saw it there.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was some other pretty cool stuff. Let's see, what did they have? I thought the coolest thing, one of the coolest things is that Acme Aero, and that CO detector. A friend of mine drugged me by Flying Eyes booth today.
Yeah, just to go say hi to Dean Siracusa. He needs to support another Myers 200, man. I hope you got some glasses, some Flying Eyes. Here they are.
Yeah, so I hadn't really paid hardly any attention to that, and I talked to Dean for a while, and he told me, how all that stuff works, and I tried on a bunch of them, and you know what? I'm actually really good. He's going to give me a set of those things.
Yeah, you're an influencer. You can get a set out of Dean, and
so I'm going to
try your videos.
I'm excited about it. You're showing the earpieces and stuff, and they're super thin, so you can wear your headset, and it doesn't just jam in your head.
Right. Yeah, it slips right under there, whether you're wearing a helmet or a headset. They slip right on real nice.
And it doesn't go.
And these are bifocular, so I can still read the maps underneath here.
And that's important to me. So
yeah,
I have to wear glasses now. This is week 2 of having to wear glasses. And
full on prescription glasses, not just cheaters.
Yeah, I've been fighting the cheater thing for 20 years, and now it's glasses. And what I do is I hate these things. They keep them on your nose.
Yeah,
I hate them. I got big dents in my nose. So his glasses, what I'm really excited about is
he'll put your lens in his frames.
Yeah, he's got great nose pieces. Don't just torture my nose.
Yeah, that's a whole piece there. It's not one of those individual nose pieces.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I'm going to try that out. I hadn't really thought about it before, so that's new to me. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what else. Yeah, saw some other new stuff. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
But when the airline shows up, we bought 3 APUs and 200 seatbelt extenders. That's what we got at the show. No growth.
No growth. Yeah. Yeah. You flew the MD-80, didn't you? Or did you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How many times did you have to dispatch without a freaking APU?
Yeah. Or how about without an autopilot?
In that airplane.
Yeah. A tab flown thing.
Yeah. Well, that is one funny thing about the MD-80. I remember sitting behind it, and watching just when
you think, hey, his tail's broken, but no.
Yeah, there's something, we got to call that in. There's something broken about that thing. The wind's just blowing it around.
Yeah, no, that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. And I thought, oh, that thing probably flies like a piece of S. And
it did good.
It actually flew well. It hand flew well.
Yeah.
Autopilot was terrible, but
yeah.
Yep. Kind of a surprise.
Rack it right up to 30 degrees of bank at maximum altitude when you cross the VOR.
Yeah. I remember, speaking of that, one time where we were like 30-ish, 1,000 feet. and the crosswinds were really high. And I was going through this nav point where I had to do a nearly 90-degree turn. So the plane starts to make the turn, but it's overshooting it really bad. So it just gives up. It just disconnects.
Just turns off.
It just disconnects.
Got it.
Okay, here, I got it. Thanks a lot.
Good.
So you're going to have to go back to work here in a couple of days?
Yeah, they got me here in April. This March has been such a crummy weather situation out here, and I was able to drop my trips. I had some London trips in March, so I didn't turn a wheel in the whole month of March, and that worked out good because we ended up with all the in-laws. We had power out for over a week and no internet, and all the in-laws at my house for over a week because they got no power, and so that all worked out good. And then next month, April, I bid Sydney again. We got Sydney back on the 777. And those trips, you cannot drop those trips. They're 30 hours each. Wow. And there's no room in anybody's schedule to pick up a 30-hour trip. So I got a couple of those coming up here in April.
How many is it 2 trips a month or?
Well, they'll line up with 3 of them, and it'll kind of spill into next month. So you'll get 15 of the 30 hours, maybe of your third trip, and it'll fill your month up nicely, plus some spillover into the next month. So you'll end up with 3 of them. But that's a great way to spend your month. I mean, 3 commutes and 6, that'd be 90 hours when you get all those hours together. I mean, it'll take you until next month until you see those last 15 hours of pay, but that's a good full month.
Yeah, it's a good
only 3 commutes to the airport. And that's the idea why we like wide body FO is the quality of life. And as a commuter living up here and got to get all the way down to Los Angeles, minimizing the commute means a lot to me. And the difference between wide body FO pay versus narrow body captain pay is not worth much of the difference. I mean, the difference is not that great. But the quality of life is considerably different if I was a narrow body captain at my seniority versus where I'm at on the 777. So here I am now. As far as wide body captain, you got to be super senior to make wide body captain. I might make it by the time I'm age 67, but
maybe.
And I just turned 60.
I bailed out when I hit 60. I had enough.
Yeah. I'll do a couple more of the. Well, if I can drive, if we got flexibility in our schedule and I can drop trips and that sort of thing, I'll stick around longer. But if it gets totally inflexible, it'll drive you right out of them.
Yeah.
Commuting. Kids, if you can live in your base, you'll have a much better lifestyle.
Your life will be way better. Yeah.
But I'm not going to give up living in Los Angeles to not be able to live up here. I'd rather pay that price.
Rather be in the mountains. So how do you commute? You go down to Sacramento and hop down to LA?
Correct. Yep. And there's lots of good frequency from Sacramento to Los Angeles, a lot of times on Southwest Airlines. Love commuting on those guys. And it's just a short 1-hour flight and about a 1-hour drive from here to Sacramento, plus the 1-hour flight.
That's not too bad.
Our old base used to be from here to San Francisco, and that was a 3.5-hour drive. And you come back from an all-nighter making that gets... You end up sleeping on the side of the road sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, I can't drive.
Yeah, I can't drive anymore, man. I just gotta park it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So what else is happening up there? What's happening in the flying world up there?
Well, we've just been digging snow, man. We've been condemning hangars and getting them uncondemned and getting them cleaned off and repairing damage and just barely getting back flying again. Back up here, we got what's his name in the mall out there warming up right now.
Yeah.
There he is. So it's just been a slow return to flying after all of this weather. Other than that, we've been working on that little RV12 project, having a lot of fun with the kids on that. Got a lot of good work done before the worst of this weather hit. Got both wings done on the RV12 really quick, like in about a month, a little over a month's time. with some help from some kids. We've had a lot of little kids up here helping out. They've been great training for them, getting their hands onto it. But a couple of teenage kids from my homeschool family were especially good at actually getting the work knocked out quick. And hopefully we'll see more of them here soon. But we got both wings done, and we're down to the flap bronze and then fuselage next.
That's pretty good. That's a really cool project involving.
Yeah, it's super, man. That RV12, the engineering on that pre-drilled RV12 is just amazing. Much easier to assemble than the earlier kits.
Yeah, that's good. So, but Harvey and the Husky survived without a problem?
Yep. Yeah, it was touch and go there for a while on our hangars. The snow came down on the doors such that we couldn't open the doors. The doors ended up holding up the eaves of the hangar there. And we ended up getting the CAL FIRE inmate crews, and they jumped on the top of the hangar there. They even hoisted a snow blower on top of the hangars and got that snow off the top of the county hangars and relieved that pressure just before. I mean, we had 3 feet of snow up there, and then a big rainstorm was coming, one of those atmospheric rivers, and that was going to just overload things. And so they got that done just before that rain hit, and the thing would have overloaded. And we did lose about 4 or 5 of these metal structure buildings right around the airport here in the industrial park as a result of excessive snow loads from this weather.
Wow.
Complete losses. Just smashed them.
Yeah. Wow. Snow is heavy.
Super heavy. Yep. Had that water to it. Oh man, and other breaking news, we had 2 other airplanes that did not have hangars that were left outside by the owner, and they are totaled. It's official. A Cessna 172 and a Cessna 150 Aerobat, which you'd think would be a little stronger. No, man, they are totaled. The wings buckled. So if you look at the rear spar on the bottom of the wing, right where it attaches to the fuselage, that rear spar is just buckled. It was just a tremendous amount of weight. I calculated at least 3 times the weight of the aircraft on top of those wings. So 3 negative G's basically worth of snow. And the same thing with the tails, to the horizontal tails. They're drooping like this now.
Oh man.
You can see the wrinkles underneath the fabric, underneath the skin.
Yeah. I just heard the mall take off.
Say again?
I just heard the mall. Did he take off?
Yeah. So I can't hear a darn thing. There you go. Yeah.
Well, cool. All right. Well, I think I'm not sure how long we talked, but
well, that was a good long BS session. Speaking of BS, that's probably an appropriate name.
Okay. All right. Then we'll go with BS works for now and see how it works.
All right.
Thanks, Juan. Enjoy your trip to Sydney.
Okay, we'll do. We'll give you an update from there. Thanks, Scott.
See ya.
Have fun at Sun and Fun and get some more of those expensive burgers.
Yeah, I probably had enough.
Good.